Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we'll read Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4th, Chapter 16, Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. So today we'll recite from slok number 20. At first we'll recite Mangalacharan, then we'll continue from our reading class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vasham Tato Jayo Mudirayat Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki Mukam Karati Vachalang Pangum Langhai Grim Yatkripa Tamahang Bande Shigurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sachaitanya Visharam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhutacharya Swami Niti Namine Snigdha Cheta Supraneta Bhagminam Charasapatham Prabhupada Gata Prana Namo Bhutacharya Padam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So you can see screen 4th Canto 16 chapter. Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. So we'll recite the slok. Ayam bhuva maddalam adya udayadrer bhupa uptaika viro naradevan atha asthaya jaitram ratham attachapa paryasyate dakshinato yatharka. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This king, being uniquely powerful and heroic, will have no competitor. He will travel around the globe on his victorious chariot, holding his invisible bow in his hand and appearing exactly like the sun, which rotates in its own orbit from the south. Purport here, Prabhupada said, in this verse, the word yatharka indicates that the sun is not fixed, but is rotating in its orbit, which is said by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in the Varma Samhita and also in other parts of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the sun rotates in its own orbit at the rate of 16,000 miles per second. Similarly, Brahma Samhita states, Yashaika Jashagya Bhramati Samhrita Kala Chakra. The sun rotates in its own orbit according to the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The conclusion is that the sun is not fixed in one place. As far as Prithu Maharaj is concerned, it is indicated that his ruling power would extend all over the world. The Himalaya mountains from which the sunrise is first seen are called Udayachala or Udayadri. It is here indicated that Prithu Maharaj region over the world would cover even the Himalaya mountains and extend to the borders of all oceans and seas. In other words, his reign would cover the entire planet. Another significant word in this verse is Naradeva, as described in previous verses. The qualified king, be he king Prithu or any other king who rules over the state as an ideal king, should be understood to be God in human form. According to Vedic culture, the king is honored as the supreme personality of Godhead because he represents Narayana, who also gives protection to the citizens. He is therefore Natha or the proprietor. Even Sanatan Goswami gave respect to the Nawab Hussain Shah as Naradeva. Although the Nawab was Mohammedan, a king or governmental head must therefore be so competent to rule over the state that the citizens will worship him as God in human form. That is the perfectional stage for the head of any government of state. Slok 21. Asmai nirpala kila tatra tatra balim harishanti saloka pala mam shanta esham striya adirajam chakrayudham tad yasa uddharantaya. Translation: when the king travels all over the world, other kings as well as the demigods will offer him all kinds of presentations. Their queens will also consider him the original king who carries in his hands the emblems of club and disc and will sing of his fame, for he will be as reputable as the supreme personality of Godhead. Purport: here Prabhupada said that as far as reputation is concerned, King Prithu is already known as the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Adhirajam means the original king. The original king is Narayana or Lord Vishnu. People do not know that the original king or Narayana is actually the protector of all living entities. As confirmed in the Vedas, Eko Bahunam Jo Vidadhati Kahaman, Kathopanishad 2.2.13. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is maintaining all living entities. The king or Naradeva is the representative. As such, the king's duty is to personally supervise the distribution of wealth for the maintenance of all living entities. If he does so, he will be as reputable as Narayana, as mentioned in this verse. Tad Yasya. Prithu Maharaj was actually carrying with him the reputation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he was actually reigning over the world in that capacity. Text 22. Ayam mahim gam duduhe dhiraja prajapati vrittikara prajanam yo lila yadrin swa sarasa kotya vindan samam gam akarod yathindra. Translation: the king, this protector of the citizens, is an extraordinary king and is equal to the Prajapati demigods. For the living facility of all citizens, he will milk the earth, which is like a cow. Not only that, but he will level the surface of the earth with the pointed ends of his bow, breaking all the hills, exactly as King Indra, the heavenly king, breaks mountains with his powerful thunderbolt. Text 23. Vishpurajan ajagavam dhanu swayam yadacharat kasmam samam avishayam ajau tada niluir dishi dishi asanto langulam udayamya damya atha mrigendra. Translation: when the lion travels in the forest with its tail turned upward, all menial animals hide themselves. Similarly, when King Prithu will travel over this kingdom and vibrate the string of his bow, which is made of the horns of the goats and bulls and is uh, irresistible in battle, all demoniac rogues and thieves will hide themselves in all directions. A purport Prabhupada said that it is very appropriate to compare a powerful king like Prithu to a lion. In India, Kshatriya kings are still called Singh, which means lion, unless rogues, thieves, and other demoniac people in a state are afraid of the executive head who rules the kingdom with a strong hand. There cannot be peace or prosperity in the state. Thus, it is most regrettable when a woman becomes the executive head instead of a lion like king. In such a situation, the people are considered very unfortunate. Slok 24. एष स्वामेधान शतम आजाहरा सारस्वती प्रदुम्र भवि यत्रा aharshid yashahayam puranadara sata kratuscharame vartamane. Translation: At the source of the river Saraswati, this king will perform 100 sacrifices known as Ashwamedha. In the course of the last sacrifice, the heavenly king Indra will steal the sacrificial horse. Text 25. येषस्वा सद्मोपवने समत्या सनत्कुमारं भगवान् तम् एकम् आराध्य भक्त्या अबलभतमालं तज ज्ञानम यतो ब्रह्मा परम विदन्ति. Translation: This king Prithu will meet Sanat Kumar, one of the four Kumaras, in the garden of his palace compound. The king will worship him with devotion and will be fortunate to receive instructions by which one can enjoy transcendental bliss. Purport: The word Vidanti refers to one who knows something or enjoys something. When a person is properly instructed by his spiritual master and understands transcendental bliss, he enjoys life. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.54, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nasachoti na Kangshati. When one attains to the Brahman platform, he neither hankers nor laments, and he actually partakes of transcendental blissful enjoyment. Although King Prithu was an incarnation of Vishnu, he nonetheless taught the people in his kingdom to take instruction from a spiritual master who represents the disciplic succession. Thus, one can become fortunate and enjoy a blissful life even within this material world. In this verse, the verb vidant is sometimes taken to mean understanding. Thus, when a person understands Brahman or the supreme source of everything, he enjoys a blissful life. Text 26. Tatra tatra girastasta iti visruta vikrama sosyati atmasrita gata prithu prithu parakrama. Translation: In this way, when the chivalrous activities of King Prithu come to be known to the people in general, King Prithu will always hear about himself and his uniquely powerful activities. Purport: To artificially advertise oneself and thus enjoy a so-called reputation as a king of conceit. Prithu Maharaj was famous amongst the people because of his chivalrous activities. He did not have to advertise himself artificially. One's factual reputation cannot be covered. Text 27. Disho vijitya pratiruddha chakra swateja sut patita lokasalya sura surendrai upagiyamana mahanubhavo bhavita patirubhuva. Translation: No one will be able to disobey the orders of Prithu Maharaj after conquering the world will completely eradicate the threefold miseries of the citizens. Then it will be recognized all over the world. At that time, both the Suras and the Asuras will undoubtedly glorify his magnanimous activities. Purport: At the time of Maharaj Prithu, the world was ruled by the emperor, although there were many subordinate states. Just as there are many united states in various parts of the world, in olden days the entire world was ruled through many states. But there was a supreme emperor who ruled over the subsidiary states. As soon as there were some discrepancies in the maintenance of the Varnashram system, the emperor would immediately take charge of the small states. The word Utpatita Loka Salya indicates that Maharaj Prithu completely uprooted all the miseries of the citizens. The word Salya means piercing thorns. There are many kinds of miserable thorns that pierce the citizens of his state, but all competent rulers, even up to the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, uprooted all the miserable conditions of the citizens. It is stated that During the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, there did not even exist severe cold or scorching heat. Nor did the citizens suffer from any kind of mental anxiety. This is the standard of good government. Such a peaceful and prosperous government, devoid of anxiety, was established by Prithu Maharaj. Thus, the inhabitants of both saintly and demonic planets were all engaged in glorifying the activities of Maharaj Prithu. Persons or nations anxious to spread their influence all over the world should consider this point. If one is able to eradicate completely the threefold miseries of the citizens, he should aspire to rule the world. One should not aspire to rule for any political or diplomatic consideration. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto 16th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. So we'll go from chapter 17. Maharaj Prithu becomes angry at the earth. So we'll recite slok number 1. Maitra Uvacha. Evam sa Bhagavan Vainya Khyapito Guna Karmabhi Chandayam Asatan Kamai Pratipujya Vinandyacha. Translation: The great sage Maitreya continued in this way. The reciters who were glorifying Maharaj Prithu readily described his qualities and chivalrous activities. At the end, Maharaj Prithu offered them various presentations with all due respect and worshipped them adequately. Text 2. Brahmana Pramukhan Varnam Vrityamatya Puro Dasha Pauranjana Padan Sreni Prakriti Pujayat. Translation: King Prithu, thus satisfied and offered all respect to all the leaders of the Brahmanas and other castes, to his servants, to his ministers, and to the priests, citizens, general countrymen, people from other communities, admirers, and others, and thus they all became happy. Text 3. Vidur Vacha. Kasmat Dadharago Rupam Dharitri Bahurupini Yam Dudoha Prithustatra Ubatso Dohanam Chakim. Translation: Vidura inquired from the great sage Maitreya, My dear Brahmana, since Mother Earth can appear in different shapes, why did she take the shape of a cow? And when King Prithu milked her, who became the calf, and what was the milking pot? Slok 4. Prakritya Vishama Devi Krita Tena Sama Katham Tasya Medhyam Hayam Deva Shaya Hetur Apaharat. Translation: The surface of the earth is by nature low in some places and high in others. How did King Prithu level the surface of the earth, and why did the king of heaven, Indra, steal the horse meant for the sacrifice? Text 5. Sanat Kumarad Bhagavato Brahman Brahma Vid Uttama Labdha Jnanam Sa Vijnanam Rajarshikam Gatim Gata. Translation: The great saintly king Maharaj Prithu received knowledge from Sanat Kumara, who was the greatest Vedic scholar. After receiving knowledge to be applied practically in his life, how did the saintly king attain his desired destination? Purport: There are 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya systems of disciplic succession. One Sampradaya comes from Lord Brahma, one from Goddess of Fortune, one from Kumaras, headed by Sanat Kumar, and one from Lord Shiva. These 4 systems of disciplic succession are still going on. As King Prithu has illustrated, one who is serious about receiving transcendental Vedic knowledge must accept a guru or spiritual master. In one of these 4 disciplic successions, it is said that unless one accepts a mantra of the one of the sampradayas, that so-called mantra will not act in Kali Yuga. Many sampradayas have sprung up without authority, and they are misleading the people by giving unauthorized mantras. The rascals of these so-called sampradayas do not observe the Vedic rules and regulations. Although they are addicted to all kinds of sinful activities, they still offer the people mantras and thus mislead them. Intelligent persons, however, know that such mantras will never be successful, and as such, they never patronize such abstract spiritual groups. People should be very careful of this nonsensical sampradayas to get some facility for sense gratification. Unfortunate people in this age receive mantras from these so-called sampradayas. Prithu Maharaj, however, showed by his example that one should receive knowledge from a bona fide sampradaya. Therefore, Maharaj Prithu accepted Sanat Kumar as his spiritual master. यच्चान्यद् अपि कृष्णस्य भवन् भागवता प्रभु सभासु श्रावसा पुण्यं पूर्वदेह कथाश्रयम् भक्तया मेनुरकताया तव चाधु सजस्य च वक्तुम् अर्हसि यद् विन्यारूपेण गम imam. Translation: Prithu Maharaj was a powerful incarnation of Lord Krishna's potencies. Consequently, in a narration concerning his activities is surely very pleasing to hear, and it produces all good fortune. As far as I am concerned, I am always your devotee as well as a devotee of the Lord who is known as Adokshaja. Please therefore narrate all the stories of King Prithu, who in the form of the son of King Vena milked the cow-shaped earth. Purport: Lord Krishna is also known as Avatari, which means one from whom all the incarnations emanate. In Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Lord Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mat sarvam pravartate. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. Thus, the Lord Krishna is the origin of everyone's appearance. As far as this material world is concerned, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva are all emanations from Krishna. These three incarnations of Krishna are called Guna Avataras. The material world is governed by the three material modes of nature, and Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva respectively take charge of the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Maharaj Prithu is also an incarnation of those qualities of Lord Krishna by which one rules over the conditioned souls. In this verse, the word adokshaja, meaning beyond the perception of material senses, is very significant. No one can perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead by mental speculation. Therefore, a person with a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since one can form only an impersonal idea on the strength of one's material senses, the Lord is known and as Adakshaja. So today we'll stop here. From tomorrow we'll recite from Slok 8. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. पतित पावन श्री गुरु महाराज की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय। जनिताय गोस्तात्य मानंदेर